Good evening, my friends. Thank you for being here, for taking this time to explore something profound, something sacred, something that resides at the very core of who you are, the desires of your soul. Tonight, we're going to talk about discovering what your soul wants and why so many of us, too many of us, ignore it. Let me begin by asking you a question. Have you ever felt a quiet nudge, a whisper deep within you, that seemed to call you towards something more, something beyond the daily grind, the expectations of others, or even the goals you've set for yourself? That whisper, that subtle pull, is your soul speaking. It's not loud, it's not demanding, it's gentle, patient, and eternal, and yet most of us spend our lives ignoring it, drowning it out with noise, distraction, and fear. Why do we do this? Why do we turn away from the very essence of who we are? That's what we're going to explore tonight, and I'm going to share with you not just why this happens, but how you can start listening to your soul's call and align your life with its deepest desires. Because when you do, you step into a life of purpose, joy, and fulfillment, a life that feels like it was meant for you. The soul's voice, what is it? Let's start with the soul itself. What do I mean when I talk about your soul? Your soul is not your body, not your mind, not your emotions, though it expresses itself through all of these. Your soul is the eternal, infinite part of you, the spark of divinity that connects you to the source of all things. It's the part of you that knows why you're here, what you're meant to do, and what truly matters. Your soul has a voice, and it speaks in feelings, in intuition, in moments of inspiration. It's that sense of rightness when you're doing something you love. It's the ache you feel when you're living out of alignment with your truth. It's the dream that won't go away, no matter how many times you try to push it aside. Your soul wants to guide you, but it doesn't shout. It whispers, and in a world that's constantly shouting at us, telling us what to do, who to be, what to buy, what to fear, it's all too easy to ignore that quiet voice. Why most people ignore their soul's call, so why do we ignore it? Why do we turn away from something so essential, so beautiful, so uniquely ours? Let me share with you the 5 primary reasons I've observed over the years. Reasons that I've seen in my own life and in the lives of countless others. 1. Fear of the unknown. The first reason is fear. Fear is the greatest obstacle to living a soul-centered life. Your soul often calls you to step into the unknown, to take risks, to let go of what's familiar, to trust in something bigger than yourself. But the ego, that part of us that loves control and certainty, resists this. It says, stay safe, stay small, don't rock the boat, think about it. How many times have you felt a pull to do something bold? Maybe start a new career, move to a new place, or speak your truth. But you stopped yourself because you didn't know how it would turn out. Your soul doesn't care about guarantees. It cares about growth, about expansion, about becoming who you're meant to be. But fear keeps us tethered to the known, even when the known is making us miserable, too. The tyranny of external expectations. The second reason we ignore our soul's call is the weight of external expectations. From the moment we're born, we're bombarded with messages about who we should be. Parents, teachers, society, culture. They all have ideas about what success looks like, what happiness looks like, what a good life looks like. And most of us, wanting to belong, wanting to be loved, try to fit into those molds. But what if your soul doesn't want to fit into someone else's mold? What if your soul is calling you to forge your own path? Too often, we choose the approval of others over the truth of our own hearts. We become doctors because our parents wanted us to. Or we stay in relationships that no longer serve us because we don't want to disappoint anyone. We trade our soul's desires for the illusion of acceptance, and in doing so, we lose ourselves. 3. The addiction to distraction. The third reason is distraction. We live in a world that's designed to keep us distracted. Social media, endless notifications, the 24/7 news cycle, the pressure to be productive every waking moment, these things pull us away from the quiet space where our soul's voice can be heard. We fill our lives with noise because silence feels uncomfortable. But it's in the silence that we connect with our deepest truth. I've met so many people who say they don't have time to listen to their soul. They're too busy working, scrolling, consuming, achieving. But here's the truth. You don't find time to listen to your soul. You make time, because if you don't, you'll wake up one day and realize you've spent your life chasing things that don't matter. 4. The illusion of unworthiness. The fourth reason we ignore our soul's call is the belief that we're not worthy of it. Your soul's desires are often big, bold, beautiful visions of love, creativity, impact, and purpose. And when you catch a glimpse of those visions, your ego might whisper, "Who are you to want that? You're not good enough. You don't deserve it." This sense of unworthiness is a lie, but it's a powerful one. It keeps us playing small, settling for less than we're capable of. Your soul knows your worth. It knows you're a divine being capable of creating miracles. But until you believe that, you'll keep ignoring the call to step into your greatness. 5. The misunderstanding of happiness. Finally, the fifth reason we ignore our soul's call is that we misunderstand happiness. We've been taught that happiness comes from external things: money, status, possessions, approval. So we chase those things, thinking they'll fill the void inside us. But your soul doesn't care about your bank account or your job title. It cares about meaning, connection, and authenticity. Happiness is not something you find outside yourself. It's something you create from within by living in alignment with your soul's purpose. When you ignore your soul, you're chasing a hollow version of happiness, one that will always leave you wanting more. How to discover what your soul wants. Now that we've explored why we ignore our soul's call, let's talk about how to discover what your soul wants. This is not a one-size-fits-all process because every soul is unique. But there are steps you can take, practices you can adopt to start hearing that quiet voice and aligning your life with it. Step 1. Create space for silence. The first step is to create space for silence. Your soul speaks in whispers, and you can't hear it if your life is full of noise. Start by carving out time each day, even just 5 minutes to be still. Turn off your phone, step away from your computer, and just be. You can meditate, sit in nature, or simply close your eyes and breathe. In that silence, ask yourself, what does my soul want? Don't force an answer, just listen. The answers may come as feelings, images, or sudden insights. Trust what comes up, even if it doesn't make sense right away. Step 2. Reconnect with your passions. The second step is to reconnect with your passions. What lights you up? What makes you lose track of time? What did you love to do as a child before the world told you what you should do? Your passions are clues to your soul's desires. They're not random. They're signposts pointing you toward your purpose. Make a list of the things that bring you joy, no matter how small or impractical they seem. Maybe it's painting, writing, helping others, or exploring new places. Whatever it is, start doing more of it. Your soul speaks through joy, so follow the joy. Step 3. Pay attention to your intuition. The third step is to pay attention to your intuition. Your intuition is your soul's GPS. It's that gut feeling, that inner knowing, that guides you when logic alone isn't enough. Intuition doesn't always make sense, but it always leads you toward truth. Start noticing those moments when your intuition speaks. Maybe it's a feeling that you should call someone, or a sense that a decision isn't right for you. Practice acting on those nudges, even in small ways. The more you trust your intuition, the louder it becomes. Step 4. Release the need for approval. The fourth step is to release the need for approval. Your soul's desires are yours alone. They don't need anyone else's validation. This can be hard, especially if you've spent your life seeking approval from others. But here's the truth. The people who truly love you will support you in following your heart. And those who don't, they're not your people. Start small. Make one decision based on what feels right to you, not what others expect. It might be saying no to something you don't want to do, or saying yes to something that excites you. Each time you choose yourself, you strengthen your connection to your soul. Step 5. Embrace your worthiness. The fifth step is to embrace your worthiness. You are enough, exactly as you are. Your soul's desires are not too big for you. They're exactly what you're meant to pursue. Whenever you hear that voice of doubt saying, "Who am I to do this?" replace it with, "Who am I not to do this?" Affirm your worth every day. Look in the mirror and say, "I am a divine being. I am worthy of my dreams. It might feel awkward at first, but over time you'll start to believe it, and that belief will change everything. Step 6. Take inspired action. Finally, the sixth step is to take inspired action. Discovering what your soul wants is not enough. You have to act on it. But this doesn't mean forcing things or pushing yourself to exhaustion. Inspired action feels different. It feels exciting, aligned, and right, even if it's scary. Start with one small step toward your soul's desire. If your soul is calling you to write a book, write one page. If it's calling you to travel, book a weekend trip. The key is to start moving in the direction of your soul's call, trusting that the path will unfold as you go. The consequences of ignoring your soul. Before we close, let's talk about what happens when you ignore your soul's call, because there's a cost to living out of alignment with your truth. You might feel it as restlessness, dissatisfaction, or a sense that something's missing. You might experience physical symptoms, fatigue, stress, illness, because your body is trying to get your attention. You might find yourself stuck in patterns of self-sabotage, chasing things that don't fulfill you. But the greatest cost is this: you miss out on the life you were meant to live. You miss out on the joy, the purpose, the impact you were born to create. Your soul's desires are not random. They are the blueprint for your unique contribution to the world. When you ignore them, you're not just denying yourself, you're denying the world the gift of who you are. The promise of listening to your soul. But here's the promise: when you start listening to your soul, everything changes. You wake up each day with a sense of purpose. You feel connected to something bigger than yourself. You attract people and opportunities that align with your truth. You experience a kind of joy that doesn't depend on external circumstances, a joy that comes from living authentically. This doesn't mean life becomes perfect. You'll still face challenges, doubts, and fears. But when you're aligned with your soul, you have an inner strength, a knowing that carries you through. You trust that you're on the right path, even when the road is bumpy. 5 keynotes of today's speech. 1. Listen to the whisper of your soul in silence. Your soul speaks softly in moments of quiet, guiding you toward your divine purpose. Create daily stillness to hear its eternal wisdom. 2. Follow the path of your joy. Your soul reveals its desires through what brings you joy and passion. Reconnect with what lights you up to uncover your unique calling. 3. Trust the divine nudge of intuition. Intuition is your soul's direct line to the source. Act on those inner promptings, no matter how small, to align with your true path. 4. Let go of the world's expectations. Your soul's desires are yours alone, not dictated by society or others. Release the need for approval to live authentically. 5. Embrace your divine worth. Fear and self-doubt are illusions that block your soul's call. Know you are a piece of the divine, worthy of your greatest dreams. 1. Listen to the whisper of your soul in silence, my friends. Your soul is the eternal part of you, a spark of the divine source, and it speaks in whispers. But in this noisy world, with its constant demands and distractions, those whispers get drowned out. To discover what your soul wants, you must create silence, sacred moments where you turn off the chatter of the ego and the world. I've learned that silence isn't empty, it's where God speaks. Start each day with 5 minutes of stillness. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and ask, what does my soul want today? Don't force an answer. Trust that it will come as a feeling, a vision, or a gentle knowing. This practice connects you to the infinite intelligence that created you. Your soul knows why you're here. It's your blueprint for a life of purpose, but you can't hear it if you're always busy, always scrolling, always doing. Silence is your sanctuary. It's where you remember who you are, a divine being, not just a body or a to-do list. Over time, these moments of stillness will reveal your soul's desires like a compass pointing to your true north. Make this a daily ritual, and you'll find clarity, peace, and a sense of being guided by something greater than yourself. You are never alone when you listen to your soul. 2. Follow the path of your joy. I've always said, don't die with your music still in you. Your soul wants to sing, and it does so through joy. What makes your heart leap? What makes you lose track of time? That's your soul talking, my friends. To discover what it wants, reconnect with your passions. Think back to when you were a child, before the world told you what you should do. Maybe you loved painting, dancing, or helping others. Those weren't accidents. They were clues to your purpose. Your soul doesn't care about practicality or what others think is sensible. It cares about expression, about creating something beautiful in this world. Make a list of what brings you joy, no matter how small. Then carve out time to do those things. If you love writing, write a paragraph. If you love nature, walk in the woods. Joy is your soul's language, and when you follow it, you align with your divine mission. I've seen people transform their lives by honoring these sparks, quitting jobs that drained them, starting projects that lit them up. It's not selfish to follow joy. It's your gift to the universe. Start today, take one step, and watch how your soul leads you to a life that feels like home. 3. Trust the divine nudge of intuition. Your soul is always guiding you through a divine nudge called intuition. It's that gut feeling, that inner knowing that says, go this way, or this isn't right. It's the voice of the source speaking through you. To discover what your soul wants, you must trust these nudges. They might not make sense to your logical mind. Maybe it's a hunch to call someone or a dream that won't leave you alone. But intuition is your soul's direct line to God's wisdom. Start small. Notice when you feel drawn to something, like a book or a conversation, and act on it. I've found that the more you trust these promptings, the clearer they become. The ego loves to doubt, saying, that's silly, or what if you're wrong? But intuition doesn't need proof it's truth itself. Write down your hunches and see how often they're right. When I followed my intuition to write my first book, it felt risky, but it changed my life. Your soul knows your path, even when you can't see it. Trusting intuition is like holding God's hand. It leads you to choices that feel aligned, purposeful, and alive. Take that first step and let the universe show you the way. 4. Let go of the world's expectations. The world will tell you who you should be. A doctor, a success, a perfect parent. But your soul has its own plan, and it's uniquely yours. To discover what your soul wants, you must let go of the need for approval. Society, family, even well-meaning friends impose shoulds that can bury your truth. I've seen people live entire lives for others, only to wake up empty, wondering, where am I in this? Your soul doesn't need validation. It's already whole, a piece of the divine. Start by noticing when you're acting to please others. Are you in a job because it's expected? Staying in a situation out of guilt? Make one choice that's yours alone. Say no to something that doesn't feel right, or yes to a dream others might not understand. This isn't about rejecting people, it's about honoring your soul's calling. I learned this the hard way, trying to fit into molds that weren't mine. When I let go, I found freedom. Your soul's desires are your gift to the world, not a compromise. Write down what matters to you: love, creativity, service, and let those guide you. The right people will celebrate your truth. Step into your authenticity and watch your life transform. 5. Embrace your divine worth. Fear and self-doubt are the greatest thieves of your soul's dreams. Your soul may call you to write a book, start a movement, or live boldly, but the ego whispers, you're not enough. My friends, this is a lie. You are a piece of God, inherently worthy of every dream your soul holds. To discover what it wants, you must embrace this truth. Fear keeps you small, safe, but your soul wants expansion, not contraction. Name your fears, failure, judgment, uncertainty, and ask, what if I'm meant for this? Doubt often comes from comparing yourself to others, but your path is yours alone. I used to feel unworthy of my calling, but I learned that God doesn't make mistakes. You were created for a purpose. Affirm daily, I am worthy of my soul's desires. Take one small step, a class, a conversation, a single action toward your dream. Each step proves your worth to yourself. Fear is just a signal you're growing. When I wrote my books, fear was there, but so was faith. Your soul's call is not too big, it's exactly right. Trust that you are enough and step boldly into the life you were born to live. You are divine and your soul is waiting to shine. A call to action. So tonight, I'm issuing you a challenge. Start listening to your soul. Start small, but start now. Create 5 minutes of silence tomorrow morning and ask, what does my soul want? Write down what comes up, even if it's just a feeling. Take one tiny step toward it this week. A step that feels exciting, not forced. And then keep going. You are not here by accident. You are here to live a life of purpose, to create, to love, to shine. Your soul knows the way. All you have to do is listen. Thank you, my friends, for being here, for being open, for being willing to explore the deepest parts of yourself. May you hear your soul's call, and may you have the courage to follow it.